Hello everyone, welcome to this End Times Watcher session. My name is Kyle and I am just an End Times Watcher. I am revisiting this topic of Goshen again because I am settling into a land that is abound with agricultural produce. Many people think that I am running away and hiding in a Goshen, but I have never ever said I am going to a Goshen. It is the people around me who equate it to Goshen. For my wife and me, we always said we are moving to a slower and cheaper lifestyle to retire into. And to my Christian friends, I will add that I am leaving the Babylon system. I am moving because God tells me to leave Babylon. He spoke to me and he spoke to my wife. We both heard clearly. In Revelation 18:4, he said, "Come out of her," that her is Babylon. What and where is modern day Babylon? In Genesis Revelation Connection, Module 6, I gave an analysis of it, but I was vague about it then. I shall be more forthright this time. End times Babylon has permeated the whole world. Both WEF and WHO are the faces that we see. What lurks behind is even more sinister. They control many of the world leaders, both political and businessmen. They do it mostly via trade and financial benefits to lure them in. Over the generations, they have entrenched deep strongholds in many countries. When I first heard God's call to get out of Babylon, I knew I was in one of the strongholds of Babylon. My country is an efficient country, at the forefront of new adoptions, very forward-looking, blazed its way from third world to developing and into developed country in a matter of decades. Throughout its short history, it has proven its capability to execute proficiently, so much so that it is a showcase for the neighboring countries to follow. However, in these end days, this quality has become a risk and liability to humanity. It is too efficient and effective not to be used by Babylon. I will not wait for the next world catastrophe to get out. When that day comes, some chemicals could be forced into my bloodstream against my will. If I pack up and leave, where do I go? To Goshen? But where is Goshen? Perhaps the right question to ask is, what is Goshen to you? Not where, but what. To many, it's more than just a place where they can have a supply of food. They're looking to run away. At least that's what I hear quite often. Where shall I run to? My family is against me running away. And there are those who only think about hiding from authorities, hiding from the tribulation to come, so afraid that the brother next to them will betray them, that they cut off all social contacts. For the record, I am leaving Babylon to avoid getting ensnared in her sins and plagues. If we stay on and the pressure comes, will we compromise? Will we justify that we need to eat, need electricity, need air conditioner and water? Some will say that they can endure, but some will give in so that their children don't go hungry. Beware, lest you share in her sins and receive her plagues. Leave Babylon so that we can avoid compromising. The keyword is avoidance, not hide. If you are thinking of leaving or have already left, what is your driving factor? What is your most compelling reason for making that move? I have come across four categories of people. The first one are those who want to run away and hide, cut off their past and social contacts, go off grid if possible. For them, they're not running off to a Goshen, they are running away to a city of refuge. When Joshua brought the Israelites to the promised land, he set aside cities of refuge where people can run to. As long as they stay in those cities, no one is allowed to harm them. City of refuge is not Goshen. City of refuge is a safe place protected by human laws. Goshen is a God place, protected by God. If I have to define Goshen, it is a place where you can continue to live out your life normally because God is there to protect you. The more enlightened ones will recognize that they cannot really hide, but some are ready to flee at a moment's notice, and they will not own houses or lands, they will just rent. Everything is temporal, don't bother to settle in. I have known of people who after 1 year of waiting in a foreign land went back home to the familiar. They could not even last 1 year because there was no sense of permanence. We expect Jesus to return soon, but how soon is soon? Next year? We are now in the midst of the beginnings of sorrows. What if this continues for another 5 years, 10 years, 20 years? None of us really know exactly when our Lord is returning. How many times would your banana, papaya, mango have yielded? How many people you could have blessed with the produce of your garden? Not to mention being able to enjoy the remaining years in peace and fulfillment instead of waiting and wasting your life away. The third group are those who plan and think, but they overplan. They are constantly concerned that when times of trouble comes, people will betray them. They will be dragged out, locked up, or killed. They will quote Matthew 24 that Jesus said, "We will be betrayed." And hence they make secret plans of a hiding place that no one knows, and they call it their night Goshen. They will go there once in a while when no one is watching to stock up, clean up, and maintain it. By the way, these three categories can be mixed. People can exhibit one, two, or all three traits. There is one common factor across all the three groups. They are living in constant fear. Fear of betrayal, fear of being thrown in prison, fear of death. I am not denying the words of Jesus, but please note, those things only happen during the Great Tribulation. Jesus said that in the same chapter in an earlier verse, while we are still in the beginning of sorrows, see that we are not troubled. And when the Great Tribulation comes, I will thank God if I'm taken to heaven earlier, for I will then be spared the hour of trial, the hour of suffering. I mentioned four categories of people. The fourth group, they heard from God, they obeyed, they left Babylon. But I'm not sure I heard from God. Do not allow the enemy to put doubt into you. All of us, without exceptions, can hear God. Even those whose ears are not functioning can hear God. But where am I to go? Roadblocks are everywhere. This question of doubt and fear again. Many had took that step of faith. They just go without a final destination in mind. I talked about this in an earlier video, S08. I call it Follow the Cloud. And finally, when we are in the foreign land, continue to do God's work. Titus told us we must continue to do what is good and not live unproductive lives. I am sure many are familiar with the parable of the talents. Those that worked their talents gained more talent, and the servant that buried it in the ground was rebuilt by its master when he returned. This is talking about us end times Christian. The parable of the talents did not specifically say that, but look at the verse immediately after that parable. When the Son of Man comes in his glory, will he find us faithful in what he has commanded us to do? How did we use our talents? For that, Jesus has given us a guide. They are in the verses immediately after the parable of the talents. When I was a young Christian, I was always amazed how the mature Christians can get cross-references left, right, and center. But as I studied the Bible, it dawned on me that our God is not a sadist. He will not make it difficult for us. Very often, the answers can be found either before that verse or shortly after it. Jesus said, "When I was hungry, you gave me food. When I was thirsty, you gave me drink. Stranger, and you took me in. Naked, and you clothed me. Sick, and you visited me. In prison, and you came to me." My brethren, keep doing good. Do the works of God. While there is still light in this world, do God's work. For me, this is what I see God would want me to do. Cultivate my little garden and grow food, enough to feed myself and bless my neighbors. Teach people what Brother Joshua Chua taught us in Feed the Hungry, the 4 square farming techniques. More than just feed them, we teach them to fish for themselves. And in doing so, spread the love of God. I welcome all brothers and sisters looking to settle in Chiang Mai. Help them know that they are not alone doing this. In time, I hope community will start forming. People will also be open to welcome others. Let this be a place where people can feel the love of God. While we still can, do the will of God. Spread the love of God. Night is coming where we cannot work anymore. When the 2B start forcing people to take that mark, that is time to flee. Go into hiding. When daylight hours are over, night has arrived. My brethren, work while the sun is still shining. Do not worry too much about fleeing and hiding. If you learn to follow the cloud, when the time comes, God will be there to protect you and lead you away. For the next session, I shall practice what I preach. Follow the cloud. Instead of planning ahead with a topic to share, I shall let the Lord speak to me to share the right word for the season. It is more exciting this way. I have also started a new YouTube channel that is totally non-Christian. It is called A Singaporean in Chiang Mai. It is for all who are interested to consider Chiang Mai as a place to settle into. If you have no plans to move to Chiang Mai, but would like to know more about it and about the life and culture there, this set of videos would help. I'll do my best to make it entertaining and from a Singaporean perspective. You can find it in the YouTube by searching with the keywords Singaporean in CM or SG in CM. Till then, this is Kyle. See you in the next session. If you find this video beneficial, please click the like icon. YouTube algorithm automatically recommends it to others if there is higher like counts. You can also subscribe to my channel so that you can see my past and future videos. Finally, please forward and share with your friends so that they too can benefit. Thank you and God bless.